Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Happy Sunday. Oh my gosh, my favorite day of the week. It feels surreal that it is already Sunday. It feels weird. We got back from brunch a little while ago and we were driving home and I was like, it's officially, as of yesterday, been a week since Walter and Otis have come to live with us. It feels surreal, and getting ready to start another week starting tomorrow. You all know Sundays are my favorite day, like I said. My favorite days of the week to rest, relax, get rejuvenated for the week ahead. We're actually going to a concert tonight, so I'm really excited about that. I was saying to Alex today at brunch, I was like, we went to brunch earlier than we usually do because I'm getting up much earlier than I usually do, and he was hungry, so I was like, let's just go to brunch. Other than Ultra, I cannot think of, what was the last concert Stevie Nicks would have been the last concert that I went to. And I don't even know what concert I went to before Stevie Nicks. But anyway, how are you guys doing? Happy Sunday. Yeah, this week I have appointments galore this week. All kinds of appointments this week. Doctor's appointments, dog appointments, all kinds of appointments this week. So it's going to be a busy week. Film videos. Caroline and I are not doing Cousin Fun Day this Wednesday. And then she actually leaves in the next week for her Alaskan cruise that she has been waiting for forever. She's so excited. It's for their 30th anniversary. 30th? Yeah, their 30th anniversary. My neighbor's friends are going to, it's her sister. They're going to the pool. So my neighbor must be going up to the pool. It's nice today. It's a beautiful day, but hey, how are you?
Good, how
You going to the pool?
Yeah, I'll go for a little bit. I'll have my suit on. Melissa and David wanted to go.
You have one of your really cute little sundresses on today.
The what?
Your cute little sundresses.
Well, that's what I live in.
Well, have fun at the pool.
Are you coming down?
It's a little cool today for the pool. She said, I know. They're like grabbing all the pool stuff to go to the pool. It's a little cool today. Let's see what time the time is currently 2:48 p.m. And the temperature is, let's see. Yeah, it's not cold, but it's not like, you could probably get some good sun today, I guess. It's 79, and the high is supposed to be 80 today. Alex and I were talking about it tonight because I was like, what are you going to wear to this concert tonight? And he was like, I think I'm going to wear jeans and a black t-shirt. So we're going over to his friend's house, she and her fiance. It's like 4 couples that we're going with. And all these girls are getting married this year. So it's all of his girlfriends that are getting married this year and their fiancés. So it's like, well, us and then 4 other couples, and we're all meeting up because she and her fiance, the one that we're meeting up with, and then Alex is going to drive the 4 of us, and then the other couples were all driving, and parking in the same place. They live really close. They live 5 minutes from Deer Creek, which is where the concert is tonight. So we're meeting them there, and then we're missing the opening act, and we're just going there for Rufus du Sol. So I'm excited about it. I'm really, really excited about it, and yeah, it's going to be good. Neighbors are going to be hanging out with the pups tonight. They were really sweet to offer that. So that's all a go. I'm really excited about that. And yeah, I haven't been to Stevie Nicks Ultra Music Festival, obviously, but the last concert, Stevie Nicks. I can't even remember. You guys probably remember more than I do, because you were probably like, Peter, don't you remember you went and saw Billy Idol? I've never seen Billy Idol in concert. I don't know if that is a concert. As you get older, when I was younger, here's my coffee that is, it's now, it's not even lukewarm, it's cold now. And it is the Highlander Grog, which is not my favorite, but whatever. By the way, this t-shirt is from Birdwell. It matches my shorts. I have on blue corduroy shorts. This is from Birdwell. I don't know if you can see it, but it's this really small blue and white stripes. So I bought this for Alex's birthday last year when we went to Mexico. I thought it would be a fun dinner shirt to wear one night. I love the big collar on it. Kind of reminds me of a sailor shirt a little bit. But anyway, it would not, I got it and I was like, oh, I'm so excited about this. It's going to look so cute for the trip. I couldn't even get into it. And I think it's like an XL or something like that. Anyway, so I tried it like 2 weeks ago and it was still so tight on my gut. And I was like, okay, so today I brought it out and it's still, I had to like do the stretch on it a little bit, but it's weird as you get older. Like, even if, like, my engagement ring still does not this one. This is the one that Alex bought a couple years ago because the original ring, I gained so much weight I couldn't fit into. Like, my original engagement ring, I try it on like once a week and it's still so tight on me. It's weird, like Tanya and I were talking about this, like as you get older when you lose weight, like what would have fit me, so I'm 53, what would have fit me at 40, you know, won't fit me at 53 the same way at all. Like your weight disperses like differently in your body. It's the weirdest thing. And you don't really like, cause you know, when you get out of the shower and you look at yourself in the mirror, you know, you know what I'm saying, okay? Like, you don't really notice it because it happens so slowly over time, right? But then one day you're like trying something on. I know some of you out there relate to what I'm saying, right? Like, you try stuff on and you're like, this just does not. Like, at 40, at this weight, I could have totally fit into this and it would have looked cute. Now, at 53, I'm like, I don't know. I need to get really... I bought that, like, perfect sit-up crunch thing, and it's still sitting in the box. I've got to, like, this week, my goals for this week are to get back into reading, to get back... I mean, the dogs have been here for a week now, so I'm adjusted to the schedule and stuff like that. And yesterday was by far... They played very, very late last night. They played very late last night. I need to take these bracelets off. I wore all these bracelets to brunch, and I haven't taken them off since got home. So I love this David Yurman bracelet that Alex got me, and I got him one. So we have matching ones. I got him one for his birthday this year. And then this. I love these like Christian Dior friendship bracelets. I've had them forever. I got Alex some too. So anyway, I don't think anybody really wears them anymore, but I still like them. I think they're really, really cute. So anyway, and this is a bracelet that Alex got me a couple years ago, and I love it. So anyway... People always ask me, they're like, why don't you have your ring on? Or why don't you have, you know, wear your watch or bracelets and stuff? When I'm at home, like if I'm not filming a video, I do not have a hat on, like at all. I don't have a hat on like when I'm just sitting around watching TV. I don't wear my ring unless I leave the house. If I leave the house, I typically, it was weird. What day was it? Maybe it was when I went with Caroline this week. I was like, oh, I forgot my ring. Where was I? Why do I feel like it was when I was with Alex somewhere? Oh, I think it was the day, I think it was Friday when we went to go run errands. So I keep, so next to the bed, or on my nightstand, I have this little box, which is where I keep like my reading glasses. I keep like my recovery tokens. Who's texting me? Oh, it's my mother-in-law. She and I were texting last night. I texted her happy Sunday today. Hope she got some rest. She's having a hard time sleeping last night. So she was texting me these memes. She said, hello, thank you, happy Sunday to you too. She said, yes, I got some rest. She's still texting me. So on the nightstand, I keep, what? On my nightstand, I keep, it's like this little, I don't know where I got it, this little box. It's like faux leather or something. And it has like a place for my reading glasses. And then there's like a pocket that, not a pocket, but well, I don't even know what you would call it. Like you just open it. It's like a little box thing. Anyway, I keep my recovery stuff in there. And then I have like my magic rock from when I did the magic book by Rhonda Byrne. And then... what else do I keep in there? My ring, so my 2 rings, this and my engagement ring, and then the wedding band, my original wedding band, I don't know. That ring, there's no way. There's no way that original wedding band. I tried it on, I think it was like a month ago, and it was like, it would go like this far on me. So, but I'll tell you what about the original wedding band when I got it. So Alex got them. So our original engagement rings are from Tiffany's. They were like, I mean, they weren't, when I say this, if I say they were cheap, I mean, I'm talking about, like, you know, people spend lots of money on engagement rings. So I got them. They were these rings that Alex really, really wanted. They're very cool. They're very different. I've actually never seen anybody else. Alex has a friend that she has the bracelet, but it was like, Tiffany's puts out lines every once in a while, you know, well, obviously. it was like this meshing, like this wire mesh thing that they put together, and Alex loved the rings. So I went and got the rings as engagement rings, matching ones, one for him and one for me. They're just bands, but they're like thick bands. And when I say that they were cheap, I think they were like $400, $300 or $400 each. I mean, they weren't like, you know, whatever, but I love the ring so much. Alex wears his like every single day. So then when he got the wedding bands, because we were just going to, he was just telling a story to somebody not too long ago. When we got married, we were just going to use the wedding bands because I was like, how many rings do we want and whatever, you know, that kind of stuff. And so he surprised me and went to Tiffany's and got the same, because they had my ring size there, got the wedding bands that are just like gold wedding bands. And then inside of them, they're like engraved and whatever. Well, when he got it for me, I'd already gained a little bit of weight, but between like the engagement and the wedding 2 years later, but it fit, it just was real snug. And then like 2 months later, like I couldn't even wear the wedding band. And if you get it sized, the problem was we took it to Tiffany's and both rings. The wire mesh ring cannot be sized because it will destroy the wire meshing on the outside. And then it's not like a band with wire meshing around it. The whole thing is wire like meshing. I'll have to show it to you guys sometime. When it starts fitting, I will show it to you. But it would destroy the ring, like the property of the ring. This one, they told us this is just a Cartier love ring, but I love it so much. But anyway, when they said something about, I said something about sizing it down, and they said that it would ruin the locks on it. Like if you did that, you can, but it like sometimes ruins the locks if you downsize it. And so at that point we were like, I mean, Alex has never needed a new ring. I'm the one that my weight has gone up and, you know, down some and whatever. So anyway, with the original wedding bands, when we took it into Tiffany's, because we took it in there to like see if they could size it down, and they said we can, but the problem is the engraving will be distorted. And I didn't want and at that point I could still fit into my engagement ring. And I was like, okay, I'll just wear the engagement ring, and Alex was fine with that too. The only thing that Alex has never liked is, you know those plastic rings? So when I sized out the engagement ring, I didn't want to spend like $1,000 on another engagement ring, and I didn't want one that didn't match him, but I wanted to wear like a wedding band. And so I ordered like one of those, you know, those rubber rings that people wear to work out, but I wasn't working out. So I would just wear that. And Alex was like, I think you need to just invest in buying like a wedding band. And I was like, no, because I'm going to lose the weight. You know how I was back in the day. I'm going to lose the weight. I'm going to lose the weight. And then I lost weight. But now I've lost some weight, and my wedding band and the engagement ring still don't fit. Still don't fit, you know? So yeah. I haven't honestly been weighing myself a whole lot, so I don't really know how much I've weighed or how much I've lost. But I was messaging the nurse practitioner that works with my doctor. And my next appointment is, oh wait, my mother-in-law said something back to me. Oh, she's telling me about a friend of hers that's moving, my mother-in-law. Let me text her and just tell her. Just filming a video. What was I saying? Oh, I had it written down in my calendar book, but I was like asking her some like questions and whatever. Because I have a neurology appointment on Tuesday. And so I was asking the nurse practitioner for the primary care physician, I was asking her some questions about some stuff. And like they have all the records are shared and stuff like that, but I wanted to understand like some of the stuff from like my last blood work, which would have been like in March, so that if my neurologist like brings it up, that I understand it and all that kind of stuff. And so she said something, and she was like, well, he can go over it with you like when you come in here. Your next appointment's in September. And I was like, yeah. So my next appointment is like in a month, my primary care physician appointment, and that's like when I'm on like the scale, you know, not like the bathroom scale that every time I move it, if I move it 3 inches, it's like 1.5 pounds up or 1.5 pounds down, so it's not 100% accurate. Every time I say that, I always think of Amy and Tammy Slayton. They actually showed this on the last episode. If you watch the 1,000 Pound Sisters, the last episode was like down memory lane. And so season 1, they couldn't get on a scale at a doctor's office that would accurately weigh them. And so they went to like this junkyard and they got on like a scale that like at a junkyard that like accurately weighed them. And every time I say that, I always think about that, because like every time I get on the scale, it's like astronomically different by like 4 or 5 pounds. Like honestly, like, because now I don't weigh myself as much. That's one of the things that I learned. I was weighing myself every day, and it just was really upsetting to me, and I was getting really upset, and I'd feel like, you know, I would do really, really good. I would walk like 2 or 3 days in a row. And it didn't really, to be honest with you, matter what people said to me about like, oh, that's you're gaining muscle tone, you're gaining this and whatever. And I just was like this week I haven't walked at all. And like last night for dinner, I had this Trader Joe's peanut butter and chocolate popcorn and this chocolate wafer bar of Caroline's that Caroline got at Trader Joe's that she loved while we were watching Final Destination 6. Because I wasn't really hungry for food. And so I was like, but I have been craving sugar like crazy this last week. And so I had that. And then later last night, when I was watching Broadchurch, which we'll get to in just a second, oh my God. For those of you out there that recommended Broadchurch to me, well, I will just say thank you, first of all. But, whoo, that show put me through it. I finished season 1 last night. But then I got hungry. And so I ate an orzo salad from Trader Joe's. And, I mean, this is at like, I don't know, 12 o'clock at night. And I'm trying not to eat late like that too. So last night was not a good night for me. So I ate like a orzo Mediterranean salad from Trader Joe's. I ate the other half of my hummus sandwich that I had from the day before. The hummus wrap sandwich from Trader Joe's. The plant-based beef jerky, a cottage cheese, more of the popcorn. That was my late night dinner last night. That I sat there afterwards, I was like, oh my God, I'm so full. The orzo salad fills me up so much, because it's like this big, and it's like, anyway, it just fills me up. But, and then today at brunch, oh shoot, you know what, I forgot to bring out what I wanted to show you guys. Well, I'll show it in another video. I'll probably wear it in another video. I had Alex, so today at brunch, Alex had a Coke, and then he had a bowl of the tomato artichoke soup, and then he had the Cuban, and he brought home most of the Cuban. I had the Highlander grog today. It was actually really busy at Cafe Pat. Oh, you know why? Because we went earlier. Because we usually go about 2:30, and we went like 12 today, so we were a lot earlier. But I had the Highlander grog coffee, and then I had a cup of the tomato artichoke soup and the grilled cheese. It's kind of my go-to now. Well, they've gotten rid of the bagels and the cream cheese that I like, and so they've gotten rid of a lot of the things I like. So my go-to now is kind of it is so good, you guys. It's this waffle grilled cheese. I posted it a couple times on my Instagram. It's this grilled cheese made on a waffle. So it's literally like 2 halves of a waffle with grilled cheese in the middle, and then I dip it in the soup. It's so good. But anyway, oh my God, do you know who I saw at Cafe Patachou today? You know the guy that walks, well, you don't know him because you've never seen him, but his dog Tiger, he walks his dog Tiger. I saw he and his wife, I've never met his wife before, but they sat like 2 tables down from us today. So I saw him today. I run into him places, like when Caroline and I were out, because I don't know his first name, and I said something to him, I know his last name, but I don't know his first name, and I said something to him about, I go, oh, Tiger's dad, and he's like, hey, how are you? And I was like, good. But anyway, what was I saying? The ring. So yeah, so I haven't like, when I started walking, so this last week, I have not done great on the eating. I haven't done horrible. I wouldn't say I've done horrible, but I haven't done great. I haven't walked. I haven't lifted at all. I just really haven't done a whole lot because I've been getting used to the dogs, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So I got to this is my week to get back onto that. Because if I start letting it go week by week, then I'm going to be, you know, putting on massive weight again and all that kind of stuff, and I don't want to do that. So, but one of the things was that I really took like that last year of like when I was doing like the weight loss journey and the videos and stuff, and like a lot of the suggestions that people had given me repeatedly, and things that like I had, like, I mean, a lot of people were like, you shouldn't do this online. And I was like, no, it feels helpful to do it online. But then I was like, well, maybe I should listen to what other people are saying. A lot of people were telling me, don't weigh yourself every day. Don't even weigh yourself once a week. Tanya weighs herself like only when she goes to the doctor. And I was like, maybe I need to really listen to this. So slowly, and it was hard. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I was a little addicted to the scale. It was hard. Like, it took me a long time. And now I don't really get on the scale that much. I probably weigh myself Well, my goal would be once a week, but I probably get on there 2, maybe 3 times a week. I love that sound. But anyway, so I'm doing better with that. And I don't feel like ruled by the number anymore. I will say that. Like, I don't feel ruled by the number. I think it has a lot to do with just how I feel. But anyway, and when I go in September, I'll know. Hopefully I meet some of his goals, since they've been so hard on me for the last 5 years last 3 years about my weight goals. They want me at this weight and that weight and all this kind of stuff. So hopefully by then I've met some of their goals. And not necessarily there yet, but hopefully. But anyway, so how did I start all this? The Birdwell shirt. So I bought this last year. Well, I still have to stretch it out. Oh, now I was talking about the rings. Yeah, so hopefully sometime soon, going with him sometime soon. Judy Collins, love that song. Anyway, so we went to Patachou today. So I got up and took the dogs outside and then brought them inside and fed them and then took them back outside. They both pooped and peeped and did all their business, did all of it real quick. And then they play for like 2 hours. They just like play. I had them up in the bed with Alex and I, and they were just like, they were so funny. So anyway, they were playing today, and then Alex was like, "Are you hungry?" And I was like, "Babe, we can go to brunch if you want to." I mean, at that point, I could tell they were starting to kind of wind down and get a little bit tired. So I was like, "Yeah, let's go to bed." I mean, or let's go to Patachou, because they've been up for a while and whatever. And so we went to Patachou. We ran up there and had brunch. And when we were there, so our friend that works at Patachou, like one of our good friends works at Patachou, and she and her husband and her kids had just gone to Beaver Island, okay? And I was so excited for her to go on this trip. It was like her husband's, like, he's wanted to go to Beaver Island forever. I don't even remember how he originally heard about Beaver Island, but he had wanted, there's a spider on top of the camera again. Do you remember when that happened? And it, like, came down and so, anyway. But he wanted to go to Beaver Island. Okay, so the story with Beaver Island, Michigan, whenever I say that, there's always one person that's like, the name. I know, it's funny, isn't it? An animal, beaver. Dirty-minded is what you are. But anyway, the story is that my mom's best friend, her entire life, okay, was her friend from, she met her when my mom and my aunt moved into the last house that they lived in when they were in high school, which was at 52nd and Central in Indianapolis, the one that Caroline and I like drove by and found. And so she met her friend Diane. Diane was like, I think she was the second youngest of like 6 kids. And so, like, my mom, is that a spider? What is that? Or is it an ant? So my mom, being like one of 2 and a single mother at that time, I think that she would have had a stepfather at that time too, but like there wasn't a lot going on in the house. She gravitated to their house all the time. And my mom would tell me, like, I was like always over at Diane's house. Her dad was always putting like steaks on the grill and, inviting everybody over there, and it was really fun and whatever. And I can remember when we would go to church, we would drive by this house, and my mom would be like, "Oh, that was Diane's house." It was like this gorgeous, like, Tudor house up in the hill and stuff like that. And she'd be like, when we were in high school, like, that was like a big deal, and we loved going over there, and they were like one of the first houses that had a pool in Indianapolis and all this kind of stuff. And so anyway, but then Diane's, like, her parents got divorced, and I think it was like when my mom, like, because my mom used to say, because my mom would always say when she went through her divorce, she would say, I'm like one of the only people like in the 70s getting divorced. And she's like, the only person I know is like Diane's parents before that. So Diane's parents had gotten divorced when my mom and Diane would have been in college. Well, my mom was in college. Diane, she didn't go to college. She went to San Francisco. So they would have been, like, we're talking like 61, 62 at that time. At that point, Diane's parents owned a house on Beaver Island. So Diane's mom and her youngest sister went up and moved to, I feel almost kind of like weird telling this story, but you know what? They're all gone. Like, her entire family's gone. This was my mom's best friend. If my mom was here, my mom would be like, tell the story. Diane would love for you to tell the story. I mean, I called her Aunt Diane and stuff like that. But anyway, and my mom would be like, Diane was so proud of living on the island. She called it the island. So anyway, so Diane's mom and younger sister, I think Diane was the second youngest. Diane, mom and sister, after the divorce, moved to Beaver Island. And that's where they, like, lived the rest of their lives. They're both gone, too. And so Diane died 3 years before my mom did. She passed away from cancer. And I still remember walking into the house that day, and my mom was so upset. And she was just, like, sitting on the couch, like, completely still. I've told this story before, too. And I was like, are you okay? And she said, how'd she say it? She said, who now knows my soul, or something like that, now that Diane's gone. And she was like, she was the only person that ever really knew me inside and out. She was devastated. And I remember when she got the call, because Diane had cancer, and then it went into remission. And I think this was like the third time. And like right before Diane died, her mom passed after Diane passed. Right before Diane passed away, it was like, I think like 2 or 3 days before. And her mom called and said, it's really bad. I know Diane didn't tell you this, but she decided the cancer was back, and she decided that she was done fighting it. Like, she just wasn't going to do it anymore. Which I remember my mom at the time having like a really hard issue with the fact that Diane wouldn't fight it. And then later I remember her like talking about what strength there is in that decision, and that she felt like for Diane that was like some empowerment over like her own choices in her life and things like that. Like my mom's opinion, I can remember she was like, initially I can remember her being like kind of like, I don't know, like it doesn't make any sense to me, like why she wouldn't like want to fight it. And then later, like a couple years, like, well, it wouldn't have been much longer because she passed away 3 years later, but like a year or two later, I remember she and I talking about it, and she goes, I totally understand where Diane is with that now. She's like, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. That she just was tired. She just didn't want to fight it anymore, you know? I can remember her talking to me a lot about acceptance, because acceptance is something we talk a lot about in recovery. So anyway, but I remember like 2 or 3 days before Diane passed away, her mom called and was like, if you want to say goodbye, you need to get up to the island. And my mom was like frantic. She was like, I can't, like my mom was scared to death of interstates. And she was like, I don't know how I'm going to get up to the island. Like no flights go up there. And at this time, like flights weren't going up to Charlevoix, which is like you go to drive to Charlevoix, then you take the ferry over. Which our friend today told me that I didn't remember, the ferry ride's 2 hours over to the island. But anyway, when we were in high school, it was like towny island. Like there was like one little store, like grocery store, and there was like a bar. I could not for the life of me remember this bar. Our friend kept on asking me, and I was like, I thought it was called Jack's. I don't know why. And then today, I said, did you go to the bar? She goes, the Shamrock Inn. I go, oh my God, my mom, she had a t-shirt that said the Shamrock Inn. She said the Shamrock, and I go, the Shamrock Inn. She goes, how'd you know it was the Inn? And I go, my mom had a t-shirt that said the Shamrock Inn on it. My mom used to wear it all the time. And I was like, oh my God, I kept on saying Jack's. I was like, it's the Shamrock Inn. So anyway, I have so many stories that my mom would go up there in the summer, and she would spend a lot of time on Beaver Island. And so Diane moved to San Francisco. She lived in the Haight, Ashbury for like the better part of like the 60s. And then she moved to Beaver Island. I think it was around the time that I was born. So I was born in 72. So it would have been about 71, 72, Diane moved to Beaver Island, and she lived there the rest of her life. So if my mom died in 2008, Diane probably would have died in 2004, 2005. So she lived up there for, 30 plus years on the island, and I remember she like worked at the hotel, and she bartended at the Shamrock Inn. My mom would tell me all these stories about them and whatever. So when our friend was going up there, I was like so excited, because she was like, well, my husband really wants to go. We're going for a family trip. We booked an Airbnb. Well, when I was in high school, my mom really wanted to go up there and take me up there. And so my mom and her sorority sister and her daughter and I, the 4 of us drove up there. My mom's friend drove up there. My mom would never have driven it. She hated interstates her whole life. And so we drove up there. It was probably about this time. Oh my God, 35 years. Well, no, that was because I was going into my sophomore year in high school. I remember we drove up there, and that's the story that I tell about. We were at a gas station, and her daughter and I got the book called Is Elvis Alive? That had like the cassettes, and we listened to it, and we were looking for Elvis everywhere. And I remember we like stayed in this cute little cottage that I think was like kind of like a double wide trailer, maybe like a single wide trailer, I don't know, it was small. But it was on the corner of a beach, and it had like this tire swing in the front yard, and we played like cards every night. And I remember my mom's like sorority sister friend, she like made bagels, and she would like butter them and put them in the oven, and then she put cream cheese on them. That we had those for breakfast every morning. And I remember that like Diane came to pick us up. She drove this like orange and brown two-tone Bronco, and I remember, because the island's really small, like Beaver Island's really, really small. And I remember she like picked us up one night, and she's like, I've got a surprise for you guys. And so we drove to the other side of the island, and she was driving down like the middle of the road, and it was like this little, I mean, the camera stopped. When you think about like horror movies and like, you know, scary woods and stuff like that, this is kind of like, it was that, but it was like, you know, 5 o'clock, 6, I don't know, 6 or 7 in the evening. And so we're driving down the middle of this like dusty dirt road, right? And people are walking on either side carrying chairs. And so my mom was like, Diane, why are you driving down the middle of the road? She goes, so you don't dust people. You don't want to dust people because they're walking down there. So then we get to the end of the island, and it's this beach. And everybody comes every night in the summer to this part of the beach, a specific area, just to watch the sunset. I mean, let's talk about living for a second. Like, that is like truly the art of living. Like, really getting it. You know what I mean? Like, you walk somewhere just to see a sunset every night of the summer. Like, for me, like, thinking back on that, I don't know that I got it, really. Like, I mean, it was a fun moment, but I don't know that I really got it, like, as, you know, 14, 15-year-old, 14 at the time, probably. You know, I don't know that I really got it. And I look back on that, I think, like, those are the moments in life. Like, if you can get to the point, and you have the luxury to do that, right? Where, like, I feel like a lot of people in my neighborhood are kind of like this. Nikki's texting me. But I feel like if you can get to the point where, like, your day is looking forward to, like, going to see a sunset, or, I don't know, like, I just feel like that's the perspective that I want to get to in my life. You know what I mean? So anyway, so I have this huge history with Beaver Island. I love Beaver Island. My mom told me stories her entire life about Beaver Island. Her and Diane getting real drunk and somebody bet them at the Shamrock Inn that they couldn't, like, row past one thing to another thing, and Diane and my mom were out there rowing this boat, and I mean, this is a fishing area, right? So all of a sudden, this huge fish ship that's like, you know, 4 stories high is like my mom, and she's like, Diane, row, and it's the way where they're rowing real fast and all that kind of stuff. My mom used to tell me, I should have warmed this coffee up because it's like so cold from being back. Anyway, so but anyway, I was really excited to hear how our friend's trip was. So they went over there, and there was like a music festival, so they couldn't get into their Airbnb until the next day, so they had to stay in Charlevoix overnight. Plus, I guess, like, Beaver Island, she said it's still real towny, like, it's not touristy at all. So my mom would tell me back in the day that, like, it starts snowing in that area of Michigan, I think, like, in, like, early November, late October. So from, like, and it gets, like, icy. So from, like, November, December until, like, March or April, maybe March, I think, like, the ferry doesn't come over. It's a couple months. I don't remember how long, because I do remember, like, they would, like, when she would come to visit, she would come in the summer, and she would say, we can't leave the island because we would say, like, come in the winter or whatever. And Diane would say, she came one time with one of her friends, and I remember, well, she came a couple times, but one time that she came to visit, she came with one of her friends from the island. This one's passed away, too. And I remember going to the video store, and Diane literally, like, my mom was like, get whatever you want. And she rented, like, 10 or 15 movies, and they were all, like, these old, like, the Pink Panther movies and the Alfred Hitchcock movies. My mom and her, like, they all loved those movies. And so I can remember thinking, like, oh my God, I'm sitting there in the TV room, we're watching all these movies, you know, I'm like, Wait Until Dark with Audrey Hepburn. I remember sitting in there and watching that one specifically. But anyway, she was like, oh my God, she'd never, like, the island didn't have, like, VCRs at that point and stuff like that. But that might have been during the Betamax era, but I don't know. Anyway, so I was so excited for our friend to go up there, and I wanted to hear about it. So she was telling us today, they got an Airbnb. It was, like, right across from the harbor. Like, when you come into the harbor, it was, like, right across the street. And she was telling us it was really, really nice. I'm not taking my allergy medicine, and I can feel it in my nose. I said that at brunch. I was like, I forgot to take my allergy medicine. Then we got home. We've been home for a while. And I still forgot to take my allergy medicine. So I said, what did I say? Oh, no. So she was telling us all about it. And so she was telling us about the Shamrock Inn. I was like, oh, my God, the Shamrock Inn, the Shamrock Inn. So she was telling us that there was, like, a music festival. I was like, there's a music festival on Beaver Island. She was like, yeah. And she was like, so they were leaving, like, the day that we got there. Like, it was, like, they were there one more night or something, which is why they had to stay in the hotel on the island before they could check into the Airbnb the next day. They went on the ferry on the way over there with a band that was playing on the final day, because she was, like, telling us all about that. But anyway, they had a blast, and they had such a good time. So she was telling me everything about Beaver Island, and But I did not know this. So I said to her, I said, I will give you any amount of money to bring me back a t-shirt from Beaver Island. And she was like, oh, you don't have to pay me anything, blah, blah, blah. I said anything. So I didn't know this, but her and Alex were texting. And so she got me a very vintage looking trucker hat that says Beaver Island on it. I was so excited. I wanted to bring it out and show it to you guys, but I totally forgot. So yeah. It made me so happy. She's like, I was like, well, how much do I, she's like, nothing. She's like, no. She's like, I wanted you to have this because you love Beaver Island so much. And I held the hat in my hand and I started like adjusting it because it's like, you know, like, it's like this kind of hat that you adjust. And so, I almost started crying. I was like, this would have made my mom so happy. Like, I feel like, you know, it's interesting to me. I think like, I don't really think this way, honestly, like, as I get older. But I think a lot of people do. Like, what's my living legacy? I don't, in all honesty, I think, you know, I hope I impacted maybe one or two people in a positive way. I hope some people have some funny stories to tell about me. I'm not really greatly consumed with what people think about me when I'm gone. I'm really not, you know. I'm a little bit more about what am I putting out there while I'm alive. I'm also big on telling people what we think about them while they're alive. I don't focus much on, like, what's my legacy going to be? Like, I think in my youth I did, a little bit, especially being an only child. The tripod fell right as I was saying that. Do you think that that means that I'm supposed to have a living legacy? I know people are going to be like, Peter, your videos will be your living legacy. Really? A video about Jeffree Star is my living legacy? I hope that is not. I hope that is not what goes down in, I mean, you know, if it is, it is. It's, you know, it is what it is. But anyway,
Don't worry about it. I'm just walking around my neighborhood.
this guy was talking, people, I love to listen to conversations when they walk around. He's like, yeah, don't worry about it. I'm just walking around my neighborhood. Somebody was asking me about, do I miss the bird feeders? They're like, you used to, like, I think it was Lisa that said this. Hey, Lisa, how are you? So I was reading through all the comments earlier. But somebody said something about, do you miss the bird feeders in the tree and stuff like that? Well, the finch feeder's still up. And not a lot of birds. I haven't seen a lot of birds in the neighborhood. I don't know if it's, like, just this period and they're going to come back in late August. Or my neighbors were, like, people that watch a lot for the birds. Like, my one neighbor that has the bird feeders on her window and stuff like that walks by most days. The ones that I call my favorite neighbors. She's like, during like middle to late summer, a lot of the birds and stuff aren't around. And she's like, then in early fall, they come back through like late fall and then, you know, whatever. I do miss them. But I will also say in this last week, since Walter and Otis have come home, I really haven't sat out here a whole lot. Like, when I'm outside, it's because I'm leash training them or taking them outside. Or, you know, they're like, I mean, I don't have a lot of moments where I just sit here, you know, like I've talked on the phone a couple times, but I haven't really talked on the phone a whole lot to a lot of people. Tanya and I the other night talked. It was probably the longest I've talked to somebody on the phone, because when I do and the door is open, like Walter stands right there. Like Otis can't see over the thing yet, the bottom of the door. But somebody said the other day they thought this was wood. I don't know why that always cracks me up. But anyway, I kind of wish it was wood though, honestly. But Walter stands there. I think I showed you guys a picture yesterday. He stands there and just like stares at me the whole time. So then I feel bad, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go inside. But anyway, I haven't really sat here a whole lot. You know, back in the day, like the early, like late spring, early summer, I would sit out here for a while. You know, listen to audiobooks. I gotta get, so, well, this week, goals for this week, audiobooks, reading, walks, lifting weights, not eating chocolate every day. That's been my go-to for like the last 2 days. Not eating chocolate every day. I feel more adjusted now because of like the schedule with the dogs. Like I know more about how I need to do that. But anyway, yeah, I do miss the bird feeders. I do miss the bird feeders and stuff like that. I mean, I still feed the finch feeder. It's not permanent. This is the other thing. Like, it's not permanent that I'm not going to have the bird feeders out here forever. I mean, we can take the dogs out back. You know, it'll be easier to take them out back than it will be. I mean, I like taking them out up front. When we had Boo and Tucker and Pee-Pee, I always took them out front. Alex always took them out back. So, we have appointments scheduled. God, we have so many appointments this week of different stuff. We got house appointments, dog appointments, people appointments. We got all kinds of appointments this week. But we're getting an estimate on the door back there. So I don't know what day that is. I feel like every day. I thought I didn't have a lot, and then it's like everything like in 24 hours, like we have everything. So anyway, but when that gets fixed and I can take them out back and stuff like that, then when fall comes around, I'm going to put the bird feeders back up. The thing was, I just didn't want, somebody said to me on my vlog, they're like, something like, oh my God, you took the bird feeders down. How will the raccoons and squirrels live? I don't know. They've been doing it in nature for 10,000 years. I'm sure they'll probably figure it out. I'm sure the squirrels and the raccoons will be just fine without Peter Monn feeding them in my front yard right here in Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm sure that they will be just okay without me feeding them. And there's also lots of bird feeders in this neighborhood, so I'm not the only one. But anyway, fall, when the dogs were more trained and stuff like that, and we're taking little walks, down the street to do our business and not just like standing in the yard. That's the other thing. I just don't want like animals sitting up in the tree. Well, I've got these tiny little dogs, you know what I'm saying? So when they're a couple months older and whatever, yes, I'll bring the bird feeders out. I miss the bird feeders. I love the bird feeders. That's not going to go away for good just because I got 2 dogs. I miss the bird feeders like crazy. There's a lot of things I want to do this week. I still have not made this table because I'm lazy. I still haven't made this table. I never did buy flowers for out here. Somebody said the other day, they said, this is dangerous. Don't be saying stuff like this to me. They said it's never too late to get flowers. It's August 3rd. It's a little late to get flowers. But then I was like, no, they're right. And I wanted to do all these white flowers out here. But you know what's so funny is, oh, I forgot to tell my end of my story, my living legacy thing. I don't like last year, if I didn't get flowers, that would have really bothered me. This year, it didn't really bother me. I don't know. I think I've been working so much on peace and serenity and stuff that I kind of just let stuff go. I just don't I don't know. I just don't give a lot of stuff a lot of power. I will say this, and so many of you were so nice. Hope you feel better soon. I hope you feel better soon. So my stomach did feel much better throughout the day yesterday. Today I woke up and it started hurting again. I'm going to be honest with you. I have a friend of mine that has had stomach problems on and off for years related to anxiety. I'm not entirely sure that it's one of the questions I'm going to be asking my doctor when I see him on Tuesday, but he's a neurologist, so I'll be asking my primary care physician that too. But I'm not entirely sure that it just is weird how it like yesterday it came and then slowly throughout the day it went. It was bad. It was bad when I woke up. And then last night I was completely fine. But I also felt very, very relaxed. I felt very serene. When I woke up again this morning, and I woke up and I felt like I was shaking out of my skin, but I'm not. It's just anxiety. And my stomach's hurting. And then I get up and I take them out and feed them. And they're running around. They're being playful. And I start to relax. And I start to feel comfortable and peaceful, and then it goes away. I really honestly feel like it's a physical manifestation of my anxiety. I really do. The anxiety has been off the charts this last week, and I don't necessarily know 100% of what that's about. I don't know if it's bringing up grief stuff with Boo Radley. I don't know if it is reminding me of when he was sick because I'm just hyper-focused on giving them all the attention. I don't know what it is. I really don't. But the anxiety's been pretty bad this week. So the living legacy thing, though, I wanted to say, my mom never wrote a book. She wrote books, but she never published a book and had a bestseller. She never changed the law or, I don't know, wrote a song or starred in a movie or any of those kinds of things, right? But I hope that her legacy lives on. And I don't think that my mom would really care much about a living legacy either. I just don't think she would. If I asked her, I think she'd say, I lived a great life. I had a good life. I think, in all honesty, I think if my mom was so proud of being a mother, I think she would say, you're my living legacy. I really, truly, and I'm not just saying that I'm such a wonderful person. I think a lot of mothers and fathers would say that, I think sometimes, I look at the most fantastic lives that I admire or I respect the most. I have, this friend of mine that's sober. She's probably 70. And she gets up, she tends to her garden, she takes care of her, her dogs, and she'll sit outside for an hour and she'll journal, and she like knits, and she knits people like all these different things, and she does crafty kind of stuff, and she loves to cook and bake, and she brings people all kinds of baked goods at meetings and stuff like that, and she reads a lot and watches a lot of like old movies and not old movies, but anyway, whenever I talk to her, I'm like, did you have a good day today? She's like this little lake behind her house. I'm like, did you have a good day today? She's like, oh my God. She was like, looking at the trees, like, in the shadows of the lakes. And it's like that, to me, like that is a living memory. Like that is a living, what's a legacy? Like, I don't know, just some of the things that she has taught me. I always tell people this, like, when I see her, she's the person that comes into a meeting and says, hi, hey, everybody, whatever. And then, like, she shares whatever she has to share. And then after the meeting, she just, like, she'll, like, say hi, everybody, talk for, like, 5 minutes. And she doesn't get into all this stuff, I did something to this one toenail when I was in Mexico. I don't know why. I mean, it's fine, but it's just, I'm kind of weird, like, about my toenails. Like, I like my toenails and my fingernails to look nice. But anyway, my mom was the same way. I have a couple friends of mine like that, in and out of recovery, that I just feel like they live life by their own terms. They don't borrow a lot of trouble. They have a lot of gratitude. They're very, very giving people. They just seem to kind of know how to live a right life, how to live a good life, Like, when they're gone and I look back on their lives, I'll think, that's an example to live by. None of these people that I'm talking about they haven't cured world diseases, they haven't, won Oscars. I mean, they've just lived really respectfully good lives. And they've been really amazing role models to me. That's not to say, if they were sitting here in front of me, they'd be like, you think I don't make mistakes? You think I don't screw up? You don't think I don't gossip or say mean things about people from time to time? Because I do. And I think that's all part of it, right? Like, I think that's human too, to do those things. To act like you're perfect is beyond that, right? Like, they're not perfect. And they would never admit to being perfect. Or, they would never say that. Like, if they were sitting right here in the chair, they'd be like, I appreciate you saying those things, but no, like, I gossip just like the rest of us, or, I have a mean comment here and there too. And they do, But I don't know. It's like, when I think about living legacies and I think about, like, the stories of my mom and Diane in Beaver Island, and then my friend brings me this hat, and it moves me to tears because I think about how much my mom loved the island and how much that meant. That to me is a living legacy, right? That I can continue to go on and share those stories. And now I have my friend going to Beaver Island, and she's telling me her stories that are reminding me of when I went there. I think that's a living legacy, right? Like, I don't know, I think we teach the wrong things sometimes. I think not necessarily in school, but just in the world, that like what matters and stuff like that. Do you guys, I just realized I hadn't really looked at that. That bug, that spider, whatever it is, has literally been on the side of the camera. I should take a picture and show you guys. Oh, it's not going to let me take it that. No, it's not going to let me take it that close. Hold on. It's focusing on the camera. I think it might be an ant. Look at that. It's been on the side of the camera all that time. Anyway. You know what? I have no idea what time I started this vlog anymore now. It doesn't matter. It'll let me know in a little bit. We're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to screw up. We're all going to do things that we need to take accountability for and apologize for. We're going to hurt people's feelings, and it's not okay, but it's fixable. And hopefully as when you know better, you do better. But when do we always know best? We don't. I think we're constantly growing and changing as we evolve. And I think, that's the art to evolving and growing, is being able to admit to that none of us are perfect and whatever. But then I think it's like, not necessarily like, people will say things like, live the life that you want to be remembered by. I don't know that I really care about that anymore. I really don't. I think there was a period where I did care what people would remember me by. But if I'm so concerned about that, then I'm not living in the moment. I'm not living in the now. And focusing on living in the moment, living in the now, caring about what the right people think in my life, there's probably only about 6 people that I honestly really care what they think about my life. And full transparency, you know, like, well, maybe more than 6. My dad, my stepmom. Oh, look at, oh, he likes leaves. She's got a leaf.
Yeah,
Always.
always.
She has this little dog, and she was like walking down the street and had like this leaf in his mouth. And every time I say, I'm having a hard time with Walter and Otis. I want to say Boo and Tucker every single time. But when we go out there, they love the leaves. So anyway, you know, living in the present moment and asking myself, are you living your best life in this present moment? Well, the people that matter to me, well, my husband, my dad and my stepmom, my best friend Tanya, my sponsor, my in-laws, Caroline, Nikki, Mel, you know. But in all honesty, like even to some degree, some of those people on the list, I only care so much about what they think about me, you know? And I think that that's been like an evolving change that's happened in the last couple of years for me. I think what happened was I cared so much what people thought, that when you care so much what people think, on the other side of that, the only way through that is to kind of care less what people think. Does that make sense? Because when you're so like, oh my God, I care so much what people think about me. And then what you realize is people are going to think what they're going to think. People are going to think what they're going to think. People are going to like you. People are not going to like you. You really don't. That's really never about you anyway. You know, it's like when Maya Angelou said to Oprah, you know, Oprah was like, everybody's saying all this stuff about me and Stedman, and all the tabloids, all these gossip things are saying that, you know, me and that. And Maya looked at her and said, you're not in that. And she's like, what do you mean it's about me? You're not in that. She goes, but yes, that's not about you. That's about them. That's what they're saying. That's what they're doing. But you're not in that. Like, you're not in that moment. Like, that has nothing to do with you, what they're saying. That took me a long time to understand that, you know? And so then when I started kind of getting that, I don't know that I've 100% gotten that yet. Catch me on a bad moment, I do really care what somebody thinks about me. But most moments, I don't care as much. I'm doing better on that. I think, like, the deathbed trick for me works really well. Like, on my last moments, will I be looking back on this and would I really care about this? Like, if I'm not going to be invested in thinking about this on my last moments or my last day alive, then I'm not giving it any energy today. I'm just not. It's not worth my energy. Positive or negative. It just isn't. So I think, like, living the present moment, I don't know. I try to surround myself with people that really do this, you know, and I don't know, they live good lives, unselfishly. You know, they take care of people, they're giving, they're kind. Not all the time, either. You know, I think, like, we live in this world of absolutes, where if you're going to say be kind, then someone's going to be checking you and go, but you weren't kind on this date. Nobody's kind 100% of the time. Nobody is forgiving 100% of the time. Nobody is loving 100% of the time. But that doesn't mean that that's not a goal that we can aim for, you know? But I don't know, this living legacy thing, it's like an interesting thing to me. What I was going to say, I think, was, like, as an only child, like, first of all, my dad never cared about that. My dad never was like, okay, you're the last one of the family. I mean, my dad could care less about that. I think my dad and I brought it up to him a couple different times, and he's like, I don't give a shit. He was like, I don't care. He's like, I'm going to cease to understand what's going on in this world a second after I'm gone anyway. So you think I care? Like, no, I don't care about that. I think it's actually really, really bizarre, in honesty. Like, when I watch these TV shows and stuff, and people will be like, you're the family legacy and you're caring. Who cares? Like, I mean, I can understand. Like, when I say that, people are going to be like, oh my God. I mean, I understand it, like, in terms of, like, serial killers and things like that, okay? But, like, when people are like, you're going to take over the family business, we've been building this for, that's more of, like, pride of the family. Not like what's going to happen to the company when we're gone. I hope when I'm gone, I hope that I am right, and I might not be, and that there is an afterlife. And if I'm there, I sure as shit hope I am not concerned in this beautiful afterlife with the business I was running on earth, okay? Like, I really hope that's not where my concern is. Like, if I am in heaven enjoying the afterlife with my loved ones and just living blissful forever, I hope I'm not worried about what, since I already used him as an example, I hope I'm not worried about what new palette Jeffree Star is releasing down here on Earth. Okay, I just hope I'm not. And if I'm wrong, and nothing happens after we die, then why do we care about our family legacy? And maybe it is because I'm an only child and I don't really get it. I don't know. But some people care a lot about that. You know, like, I understand it when you're alive. Like, I understand it. Like, if you're like the Murdaugh thing, like you're ruining the family name and all this. I get that when you're alive. But like, what are you leaving behind? I don't know. You know, I think about like what a lot of like what did my mom leave behind? I mean, great, hilarious memories and loving memories and stories. So many stories. You know, my Aunt Kathy, I think that's it. Like, with my Aunt Kathy, it's like memories of food and holidays and stories. It's like, what did these people leave behind? Nothing profound. Unless you think a story is profound, and I think a story is pretty profound. You know, I've learned so much from these people. They passed on a lot for me that allowed me to enjoy the world in a more grateful manner, and showed me and exposed me to things that I never would have got to see. I don't know. So last night, I have no idea, like what time did I start? Oh, I think I do know what time I started vlogging. I think we're coming up on like maybe an hour. Maybe we're coming up on an hour. I don't know. Last night, have you not made it down to the pool yet?
Yeah.
Okay, I just stopped the camera because she was telling me everybody that was at the pool. And so she was saying everybody's name from the neighborhood and stuff like that. So I just stopped the camera. Anyway, and now I really don't know. Well, I know what time I started vlogging, but now I don't know how close I am. Okay, so last night, TV show watching. Well, the pups were super, super restless. They finally fell asleep. I think it was like 2:30 last night. Let me look at my daily notes that I'm keeping on here. Hold on a second. Walter and Otis fell asleep at 2:30. They finally fell asleep next to me at 2:30. They were like crazy dogs from like 10 until 2:30. Oh my God, they were crazy dogs. They were out here and they were like running around. Their leashes were crossing and all this kind of stuff. Somebody said something about getting like a 2-thing leash and what. I'll have to look that up. I don't know anything about. Oh my God, the bug is moving. The bug is moving on the camera. But anyway, they were being crazy dogs last night. Then I brought them inside. Then they were like on the bed with Alex and I. And they were running all over the bed. And they're running up and down the ramps and stuff like that. They were being crazy dogs, crazy dogs. I mean, they were running all... Hey! What are you doing? Is your husband's foot still bad? Aww. You look cute today. You look cute today. Oh, this is? I didn't know that.
I only knew because of our son. Okay. I don't keep track.
Well, happy birthday, Jerry Garcia. Happy birthday, Jerry Garcia. Is it today? What?
I'm not even sure if anybody from the band is left. I think there is. I think there is.
Jerry Garcia birthday. I'm looking it up. August 1st, 1942. He was my mom was born in 43. What year you were born? Probably 44. Okay.
Don't remind me.
Well, I mean, you graduated with my mom, so I knew that.
Yeah. That's a long time ago.
And yes, they're still our members. They still tour. We'll have to go. We should go. You want to go? Well, enjoy your walk.
I will, and I'm going to see those puppies one of these days.
Okay.
Okay.
Everybody asking to see the puppies. It's so cute. So anyway, they were like restless as hell last night, like running around and all this kind of stuff inside the house. I mean, they were doing laps and laps and laps and laps. These dogs, somebody said this, and they said sometimes like too many toys is like it's like too much for them or whatever. So I did put some of the toys up last night. Somebody commented that on the vlog. So I did put some of the toys up last night. I was like, you know what? That's probably true. And so I put up some of the toys. Then they were like, they kept on like looking for stuff, and I felt bad. I was like, are they looking for that specific toy? And then I put that specific toy down, and they play with it for 2 seconds. They're just puppies, you know. They just like, they play on everything and whatever. So anyway, they were very, very, very sweet and loving. I think I took some pictures again last night. I mean, they are just the best boys ever. And they're getting along so well. Oh, you know what I forgot? That was from the other night. When I got done vlogging yesterday, Alex and I watched Final Destination 6, Bloodlines. So we watched the last one that just came out. It was interesting. A couple people messaged me. Other people that messaged me about it, they were all like, oh, I really, really liked this one. This one was so good, blah, blah, blah. It was okay. I mean, was it better than the previous 5? 100%. The first one is good and the last one is good. The middle 4 are just subpar. They're just okay. The bug is now moving across the camera. It is the middle 4 in the middle are just okay, but it is kind of fun being able to say I've seen all the Final Destination movies, so I'm kind of excited about that. I don't know that I'm going to wait until October to do the Saw movies. I might start the Saw movies next. Peter's Movie Club for this summer has kind of been a flop. I've missed so many weeks now that it's just kind of been a flop. So people have been asking me to do my review of the movies. So this Friday for Peter's Movie Club, I will be doing the review of the Final Destination movies. That will be coming up on Friday. But anyway, so we watched that yesterday, and then we watched Orange County. Oh, that was why I was like, why did I have that for dinner last night? That's why I was eating the popcorn and the chocolate bar. And we ran some errands yesterday. Alex got his car washed. We stopped at the gas station. I got a fountain pop. Alex got a fountain pop. He got candy. I got some candy. We sat there and ate the candy and watched the movie. It was real fun. But then we watched Orange County. So we're caught up on all the housewives. Oh, tonight Big Brother's on. Yeah. So, and I don't know anything that's going on in the house. Like, I don't know. Oh, you know what? I do. Because somebody on my Big Brother video the other day, they commented something. I think I ended up deleting that comment because I didn't want it spoiled for anybody else. But somebody, the whole show, I said, I'm not into the spoiler, or the whole video, I said, I'm not into spoilers, I'm not into this, I'm not looking at that. And then somebody commented under there and said, like, who won head of household and, like, what happened with it. And I was like, that is so rude. Like, why would you do that? So I just, like, deleted the comment, I think. Which I rarely ever do, but I was trying, like, for me, it was fine. But I didn't want anybody else that's watching it to, like, have it be completely ruined. So, anyway. What is going on? My bracelet is kind of tangled. Tangled up in blue. Well, the Bob Dylan, oh, there it goes. Bob Dylan sang that song, but also the Jerry Garcia band sang that song. So, if you didn't hear that whole interchange, she was saying that this weekend is Jerry Garcia's. She had Jerry Garcia tie-dye t-shirt on. And so, this is my deadhead hippie Birkenstock wearing friend that lives in the neighborhood. Anyway, and so she was telling me that it was Jerry Garcia's birthday weekend, which is actually the first. Which is crazy because he was born in 42. My mom loved the Grateful Dead. And no, he was born in 42. My mom was born in 43. So he was a year older than my mom. I didn't know that. But anyway, I didn't know this was his birthday weekend either. I love their music. I read years ago one of the best I'm not a big autobiography person, but I think it's called Dark Star, the oral autobiography of Jerry Garcia. And it's like Chris Christopherson, Gracie Slick, I think Dark Star book. It's got him on the cover of it. I mean, years ago, probably 25 years ago I read it. Dark Star book, Jerry Garcia. I'm almost positive that's what it's called. I know when I look up, the battery's going to be at the halfway mark. Oh, nope, it's not. Here it is. An oral biography of Jerry Garcia. This is not what the cover of mine looked like. Does it say who's in here? If it says Chris Christopherson and Gracie Slick, I will. Because they all live together. Together, the voices in this oral biography explore his remarkable life, his childhood in San Francisco, the formation of music identity, the Dead's road to rock stardom, and his final crushing addiction to heroin. Interviews with Jerry's former wives. I don't think Mountain Girl's in there, though. Lovers, family members, close friends, musical partners. Yeah, it was Chris Christopherson and Gracie Slick were in there. It was such a good book. What year did it come out? February 2009. Oh, the battery just went to the halfway mark. I feel like I read it before then. Maybe I didn't. February 2000. Maybe that's, I don't know, maybe that's a different edition of it. Okay, so last night I watched Broadchurch. What else did I watch last night? Did I watch anything else? I think I just watched Broadchurch last night because I had 5 episodes left. I had 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I wanted to finish it last night. Okay, so, oh shoot, now I can't remember. It's whoever, I wanted to give you a shout out who recommended it to me, but I'm afraid the battery's gonna die. Somebody said, I'm the one that recommended Broadchurch to you. And Hannah, I think it's Hannah. Okay, Hannah, I'm almost positive it's you, because you said that that's your name that you send me on Instagram messages, but your name's Coffee, I think. Okay, whoever it was that recommended Broadchurch to me, thank you, so good. Could not figure out who the journalist was, and it's the main guy from Bridgerton, the guy that's gay in real life from Bridgerton. I love that guy. Olivia Colman, oh! Okay, first of all, I very, very rarely ugly cry in TV shows. The end of this show, okay, I kind of, first of all, everybody's a suspect, so I kind of had some feelings of kind of like who it could maybe be, but I was like, I was not definitive about, so it's 3 seasons, but apparently each season is different. So the first season does kind of end conclusively. The guy that plays the main detective, DI, whatever, Alex something. I've seen him in something else. I don't love him. His partner's played by Olivia Colman. The battery is flashing at me, so I have to get off here. I love her so much. I love Olivia Colman. 5 stars out of 5 stars to Broadchurch. So thank you guys so much for recommending it to me. Okay, I'm going to get off here now, get this video rendered, get it up, play with the pups, and all that. And I hope you guys are having a magically amazing Sunday, getting rested, relaxed, rejuvenated, and refreshed for the week ahead. If nobody else has told you this today, I love you guys. Whew. I made it. And of course, I'll see you tomorrow.